When I was younger, I never had a good friend. My social skills were non-existent, I acted a little overly feminine, and to top it off, I got called gay slurs all the time. People actually talked about it so much that one day when I was 14, a family friend literally pulled me to the side, whipped out the Bible, and read the part to me that said what supposedly happens to gay people. So I think all of that contributed to the fact that I was never able to have a close guy friend in my life. And I hated that because I wanted to have a bro. I saw other guys that had that connection with each other, and I thought that there was something so wrong with me that I couldn't have that. But then one year, someone I was kind of friends with, but not super close to, asked me what I was doing for my birthday. I told him I didn't have plans, and he asked me if I wanted to come over and play League of Legends. I said yes immediately because anything was better than being alone on my birthday, and I also love League of Legends, so I had to come over. So I head over, and the first thing I see is his laptop on the kitchen table, and the first thing he says is, "Let's play." So we played for a few hours, and then he asked me, "Hey man, what do you want to eat? It's on me." And he flashes a $50 bill. So we end up getting ice cream, pizza, and every other kind of junk food you can imagine. Then while we're eating, this girl that I had a crush on at the time for 3 years randomly shows up at his house. It goes without saying that this was one of the best birthdays I had ever had, and almost 10 years later, I still haven't forgotten about it. Now, while it was already a homie move for this guy to invite me over, there's some stuff that happened that day that I didn't find out about until later. Number one, my crush didn't randomly show up. He actually invited her over as a planned surprise for me. And number two, thinking back on it, those $50 that he spent on the food definitely wasn't petty cash for him. And I'm not gonna dig into that, but I definitely feel kind of dumb for not realizing this at the time. So, who is this guy? This is my best friend, Max. One of the few people in my life that I can not only call a bro, but someone that I will be friends with for the rest of my life. So, why are we talking about Max? Well, Max knows I have this YouTube channel, and he's been telling me for the last year that when he saves up enough money, he's gonna pay me to build him a computer to replace his crappy laptop. What he doesn't know is that I was never gonna make him pay for it in the first place. So, this is where we're at. These are all the parts for the computer. Now, what makes these unique is that normally all of these parts would cost $865. However, for the last year, I have been going around Las Vegas collecting parts to build him an amazing system for an amazing price. So first off, we have the processor and the cooler. This is the Ryzen 5 1600, and this is a 6-core processor. Now, for those of you that don't understand what that means, this is the perfect sweet spot processor where it's actually pretty inexpensive, and especially inexpensive when you find it used, but it can also stream, video edit, as well as play video games if you choose to. The retail price of this thing, even though it doesn't really make that much sense if you know a lot about the pricing of computer parts, is $160. And I actually got this bundled with the motherboard, and the retail price of this motherboard is actually around $80. I was able to snag the two of these together for only $150. Next, we have our RAM. Now, this is actually pretty fun RAM. This has the RGB lights, which means it can change colors, and it actually can be controlled by a program if you download it onto your computer. And typically it still retails for $130. However, I was able to get it used for only $100. For 16 gigabytes of this stuff in 2019, that's not bad at all. Next, we have our solid state drive. Now, this is a pretty generic solid state drive. It has 256 gigabytes of space, which is plenty if you're only gonna be gaming and not planning on doing any storage of photos and videos. But like I've said in the past, the main reason you go for a solid state drive instead of a hard drive, which you've probably heard of before, is for the speeds, the load times, and the boot times. If you have a solid state drive in your system, your computer will work a lot smoother. Now, the retail price of something like this is typically $45, but I was able to get it for $25 because I saw a sale that was posted on the Build a PC Sales subreddit. Now, moving on, we have our power supply. This is an EVGA 500BR, which is a plenty powerful power supply for only $10. Damn! Now, the retail price of this thing is actually $40, but the reason I was able to get it so cheap is because EVGA has a sale on their website called Midweek Madness, and it happens every Wednesday at midnight. I happened to be checking the sale that night as soon as it went live and snagged this up immediately. And lastly, everything that we have here is going to be going into this case, which is a Phanteks P300. Now, out of all the things here, this is actually one of the couple things that is actually brand new. I got this off of eBay for $60, and that is actually the retail price of this thing. It goes for $60. I was just looking for a nice, clean, tempered glass case, and that's what I got. Besides, from what I remember in the past, Max has actually told me that he likes the look of my white see-through case, so I figured I would get him something similar. Now, if you are a computer builder or if you've built your own computer before, then you probably realize that I'm missing something. Where is the graphics card? Now, this was something that I thought about a lot because I wanted to make sure that I got Max the right card. Now, what I mean by that is I didn't want to get him something that was so overkill that he would never actually use it to its full potential, but I also didn't want to short him and get him something that isn't good enough. And while I was debating that, fortunately, NVIDIA was actually nice enough to send out an RTX 2060 for us to use. Now, for the educated gamer, you probably already know what this is, but for those of you who don't know what this is the RTX 2060, and the reason this card is so hyped is because it is the budget version of the newer graphics cards that come with the new ray tracing technology. A basic explanation of what it does is for the games that support it, soft light shadows and reflections are very realistic and can be rendered out in real time, essentially making your gaming experience way more immersive. The card itself also looks so clean. So, in total, the amount that was spent on this system was only $345. Not bad considering, like I said, this could all cost around $865. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, if you like this guy so damn much, why are you buying him used parts? Well, first of all, that's what I do. I build sick systems for sick prices, but I also have to take into consideration my friends' feelings. Max is the type of guy where if he knew I spent a lot of money on something, he would feel really uncomfortable accepting it. Besides, I think the fact that I spent so much time collecting all of this stuff is a lot more meaningful anyways. So now that we've gone through all of that, let's build this thing. All right, so this is the build. I am so excited to see what it looks like with the RGB on. And speaking of RGB, something I didn't cover earlier is I used a cheap $25 pack of iGo DR12 RGB fan lights. The airflow on them is decent. I've talked about them in a previous video on the channel. They're awesome if you're just looking to get some lights in there to make your build look a little bit nicer and get some okay airflow. They do pretty well. I don't know if I put this thing together correctly yet, but let's go try to turn it on. What is that? Devices change, CPU memory. Oh, yes! Okay, it works, it works. I just have to get a keyboard. Oh my God, it works. This is so sick. It's always a concern, you know, when you get used parts, you wonder what is gonna break. But while we're here, before we start, you know, installing everything and seeing how it performs on games, let's check out these lights, man. Hold up. But anyways, I am so excited to start testing this thing and, you know, just optimize it and then just see how much we can get out of this. And then I'm even more so, I'm so excited to surprise him with it. But yeah, let's get to setting this thing up and let's keep going. All right, so finally done installing Windows and the games we are going to be testing on this system, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to play Fortnite, CSGO, Unigine Heaven, and Cinebench R15, and testing all of those at the maximum settings at 1080p resolution. That way you guys get an idea of how powerful this system is, especially with the RTX 2060, and then we're also going to be comparing it to the 1070 Ti. I touched on this earlier, and NVIDIA claims that this 1070 Ti is supposed to be comparable to the RTX 2060, and we're gonna go ahead and see if that's true. And Max, when you do finally watch this video, I know you don't understand anything about computers, but this is a very good graphics card, and if it's anywhere near this one, I hooked you up. Let's get benchmarking. As you guys can see, the computer itself runs absolutely amazing. And I know that comparing this to the crappy laptop he has that crashes at least 3 times a day, I don't know how, but it does, this will be a night and day comparison. So we've handled all our business. We've made sure the card works and it works well. Let's surprise him.
Please leave your message.
Damn, is he really not answering right now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yo, what's up? Where are you?
I'm at Red Rock, so my service goes off and out. Why?
Would you mind stopping by my house? I have it's a kind of an emergency.
Okay, I have Amelia with me. Should I drop him off?
Yeah,
First?
yeah,
Drop off?
yeah. All right. Okay, he's here. Sorry, I was making a video. Do you remember a birthday that you invited me over to your house? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know this, but that was my favorite birthday of all time. I'm sure you already know, but like growing up, I didn't really have any friends that treated me very well. I don't like hold resentment towards that or anything like that. But I was always very jealous of people that had like the bro relationship. And I can honestly say the first time I ever felt like I had a bro relationship was starting that day after that birthday. That was something I wanted for a really long time but never had and didn't know how to get it because of, I don't know why I act overly feminine and why that's the way things turned out to be, but I just want to let you know. And I know emotionally we're not like normal dudes. We're never just like so hard we can't talk about feelings. But I feel like I never really told you how much, you know, your friendship and everything means to me, and how much I appreciate everything about you, and how kind you've always been, and how honest you've always been, and just how you've treated me. And I know you know that I don't like a lot of people, and a lot of people can be kind of shitty, but I love you very much, and I appreciate everything that you've ever done. So I know you've been telling me for the last year that when you save up enough money, you were going to pay me for a computer. But you and I both used to work the same job, and I know it doesn't pay very much. So I wanted to give you this as a present, as a thank you. It's been a good couple of years, bro. I agree.
It's been a good couple of years.
Press the button on top. Oh wait, hold on. I was almost scammed you. Okay, now press the button on top. No, the big black one.
Okay, gotcha. That's the light one. My bad.
Wait, I think I broke it. Oh, it's not plugged in.
Hey, bro, it made me think. I thought something was going on.
You thought I was looking at that?
Yeah, I was like, dude, I really flew home. I got here and I think I was going 20 miles over the speed limit for sure.
See, that's why you're a good friend. I'm sorry for freaking you out, but I didn't know.
Yeah, you did freak me out.
I didn't want you to. I knew you're too smart and you figure shit out too easily. That's why I had to keep it a surprise.
I was oh, that's cool to max. I legit left Red Rock in 5 seconds, and yeah, wow, that was.
No, I have to reinstall the drivers. Well, hold on 5 seconds. What do you think, or how do you think it looks?
Well, is this the one from the video, or is
You remember when you came over earlier and I was
Yeah.
telling you I was building it for someone else? I was building it for you.
That's sick. Okay. Yeah, it looks awesome. Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah, I love the white and the clean look. Anyways, the case is so cool.
do you like it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I have
I
a.
like the black and white is such a clean look.
I know I have a type for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can tell. No, but I like that type. It's just classy. You don't need anything else. It's funny. I was thinking when you said that how small things really matter. Cause I didn't even think of that. I had no idea
What?
that it affected you at all.
Oh, the birthday thing?
Yeah.
I remember it pretty vividly.
Well, I know that you mentioned it a lot in the last couple of years, but I didn't think that it meant I just thought it was just a cool memory. Yeah.
No, it meant a lot to me. So that's everything.
I appreciate it.
Mhm.
This is epic.
I've been wanting to do that for a long time. I know with friends, with really good friends, you don't pay them back. But I've been trying to find a way to show my appreciation for him for a long time. I don't know. I just thought that would be a good way to do it. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I know this was a long video, but if you made it this far, it means a lot. Thank you. So, I hope you found this creative, entertaining, or informative in any way, shape, or form. And as always, have a great day.